Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi Fruit Loop. What you know?
Well, um, I don't know. I
You don't
wasn't
know.
ready for this one.
Look,
I
I'm
hadn't
going to
even
tell
thought
you,
about
it is slick outside.
it. You out there ice skating?
Oh my gosh. I was taking my mom some brownies and yeah, twisted my knee just a little bit. It's okay. But man, I saw my life flash before my eyes. It's like an ice skating rink.
Yeah, the thing when it starts to melt and then it refreezes, it's no longer snow. It's a
Yeah.
solid sheet of ice. Our road still has ice on one end of it.
Yeah. My driveway is a solid sheet.
Yeah. Yep.
Solid sheet of ice. So we want to give a shout out to Two Cool T-shirt quilts, one of our sponsors. You can go to twocooltshirtquilts.com/pretty lies and alibis. Check out what they can do for you with all those old t-shirts you ain't using.
Yep.
And we also want to say a big thank you to Roberta in Long Island for the PayPal donation. We want to say get well soon. She's got COVID right now.
Oh, get well
So
soon, Roberta. Thank you.
yeah, that's no fun. And a big happy birthday to Kay Woodcock, which is JJ's grandma and Charles's sister.
Woo woo woo.
It's her birthday. I'm gonna have a brownie later in her honor.
There you go.
I done made some brownies waiting on me.
Eat some cake, Kay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's your day.
Yep.
So I was watching this trial today, and I'm gonna tell you, I really think that I just have this theory that Chandler was very jealous of his brother Mitchell.
Yeah.
I really think that may be some of this because I'm trying to figure out what is this rage that caused him to do this. Now we know that he was kind of busted, at least with the college stuff. His dad was really on to him about the fake paycheck that he was not getting. But I was thinking to kill them and then dismember them, that's just to me, it screams more than just oops, he found out I was lying about college.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I just feel like yesterday when we found out he sent that bullet to his brother that with a note that said get well soon, I just thought that kind of is really telling. I bet he's probably just to him, Mitchell is the one that flew the coop, as he said, and actually did something with his life. I'm sure that probably eats up people like Chandler.
Yeah, my thing is, how can you do what you did? One, I mean, you cover it up. You try to, anyways, which we know you did a horrible job.
Oh man.
But mentally, where are you at in your mind where you can do that
Yeah.
and
It's I
continue to
mean,
lie?
right. Yeah. I mean, look, this guy, we start out with email addresses that he had bouncing around to send his dad these email chains as if he's going to work in school. I'm just impressed that he can remember all those passwords because I have maybe 2 passwords I use for everything, and I still, like, once a week have to reset.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
and one thing I was thinking too is so exhausting to read all these emails back and forth that he's writing, and you think that much work, it would have been just as much work to go to school and get a job.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, I watched today some, and I was watching when they played the audio from his dad calling the college.
mhm.
And I tried to see his facial expressions
Yeah.
during that time, but he didn't really.
Yeah. It was crazy. So let's get started. The first
Yeah.
witness was Timothy Blank. He is a detective in charge of warrants and subpoenas.
I
So
bet
they
you he gets a lot of jokes.
Oh, yeah.
What's your name? Timothy Blank. Well, what is it? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they noticed that one IP address was logging into several Google accounts from the Halderson house. And so there was an Aaron Hoover Mac at Gmail. That account was created on May 28th, 2021. There was an Alyssa Brandt 64 at gmail.com. That was created August 18th of 2020. And then you had the Chandler Halderson at gmail.com, which had his birthday listed and his phone number as a recovery account. That was created on January 20th of 2020. And then you had Spieth Daniel at gmail.com. And that also had Chandler's birthday and his phone number listed as the recovery information. And that account was created on August 5th, 2020. The flip phone that they found in Chandler's bedroom, it's a burner phone, and they couldn't extract any data from that phone. They did get some data from Bart Halderson's phone. They got photos, videos, texts, call logs, browsing history, and all that. So that was all with this witness, essentially. He was setting up, he was the one that sent for the subpoenas. Then you have your experts coming in. So on cross, the defense, who was a little more active today than they have been this whole trial, actually. I guess maybe they're getting down to it. And how many phones did you get data from? And he said 2. One was Bart's phone and one was Kat's phone. And it said, did you look at what the phone contains or did you give it to someone? And Detective Blank said, I did view some of the evidence. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and bash the defense attorneys because they literally got nothing. They're doing the best they can. I'm just
still laughing because you said Detective Blank. It's just
Detective
funny.
Blank. Yep, there you go. Can I just say, my whole family knows we're doing this episode, and everybody's being so loud right outside this door. The dogs are barking. People are stomping through the kitchen. Which, by the way, can I just say that winter storms are not good for the pocketbook because these kids eat like they're not going to eat the next day.
Yeah, it's like your body does it to store up.
Yeah, they're like some little bears in there. And I'm going to tell you, I'm having PTSD from virtual learning because they haven't had school all week.
Yeah, they don't have it tomorrow either.
Oh, I need them to go back to school. I love them, but seriously, it's just like, really, guys? I mean, I'm constantly going room to room. Are you in your class? Are you in your class? Don't take a nap. You got a class. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Send a Valium.
So the next witness was Detective Sabrina Sims. She's Dane County Sheriff's Office. She reviewed the email accounts, Chandler Halderson Gmail. There were emails from the fake Gmail account sent to Chandler's email. Bart sent an email to Chandler on June 7th, 2021. The subject was MATC. I did not receive the email string regarding the appointment on Thursday. Please send it to me. June 11th, 2021, from Bart to Chandler. Did you email HR about your paycheck? Unless there is something you aren't telling us, they've had ample time to pay you. See, that right there tells me they knew he was up to something.
I think so. And what you find throughout all this is it's just one excuse after another with whoever he's emailing himself from whatever account. It's you see why eventually Bart calls and acts like he's Chandler at the college.
Yeah. Yep. June 11th of 21, Chandler to Bart. I added him to my room queue, so hopefully soon. The emails go back and forth from Chandler questioning why he hasn't been paid to back and forth with the college. Lots of excuses, short-staffed, appointment changes, and this went on for months. It would be so tiring.
I would get confused and email as if I'm somebody else. I mean, at one point, he misspells the girl's name, this fake girl he made up. I mean, they even pick up on that, but it would be so hard to try to keep up with all this.
Yeah.
I would get confused. I would have blown my cover like the second day I'm doing it.
Yeah. So the Spieth Daniel Gmail account was created August 5th, 2020, which we talked about. Email on 8/5 Daniel to Bart and Chandler. Subject Zoom meeting. The email says he will be handling this case. It says the meeting can't have the meeting until the 11th, and he will send the Zoom link.
Sorry about that little thing.
It's all right.
The meeting can't have the meeting.
The meeting can't have the meeting. I bet that was Detective Blank.
No, that was one of my kids bugging me in the middle of me trying to watch this.
I need some chicken nuggets.
Yeah, what's for lunch? I just had breakfast an hour ago. I'm starving.
Yeah. Bart responds, that time of work, please send Zoom details to my work email. Thank you, Bart. August 10th, the email from Daniel to Bart and Chandler says a close family member has COVID and will appoint a co-worker to Chandler's case ASAP. Says he will be in the office Wednesday at 4 and says for Chandler to call him tomorrow at 9 for further details and apologies for any inconvenience. He had like 10 personalities.
Oh, yeah.
August 26th, they show an email from Google to the Daniel account detecting a new login. and another saying to finish setting up his iPhone with Google. August 26th, email from Daniel account to Bart. It says Chandler's counselor wouldn't be able to make the meeting. So Chandler called him and says he will be remotely conducting the meeting. It asks if 9:30 or 10 is okay to call.
Yeah. So on August 26th, Daniel to Bart, I've approved his renewable energy certificate, and he also asks if the address they have on file is correct. Bart responds he can make either time work and needs to be done by 11:15 that morning. Bart says he thinks Chandler is in a meeting with a potential employer and asks if it's okay to proceed without him. So we jump ahead a little bit to September 9th, and this is from Bart to Daniel, aka Chandler. Can you give me an update on Chandler's account? I need to know, has his account been set up so he can request transcripts, and has the national database been updated so student aid can see if he is registered as a full-time student? When will he be receiving his certificate for completing the solar energy program? And one question that I have is, I would love to know, and they have not said that I've heard, were Bart and Krista paying for this college, and where was that money going? Was Chandler pocketing this money? I mean, it
Good
doesn't,
question.
I mean, because they obviously weren't paying. Well, he did go to school for a year, and we'll get to that. So maybe they thought the student loans that were coming in were for everything. I don't know, but there's just so many things we don't know that they haven't talked about. I wish they would, because I'm nosy. So
Yeah.
Bart says he thinks Chandler is in a meeting. Oh, no, I didn't say that. October 23rd, Bart to Daniel. He asks about an update on when Chandler's new account is active, if he's registered in the IT program, and if he's able to sign up for spring classes. He needs transcripts generated and picked up. Solar certificate has been signed and sent to the database, updated for financial aid. So on August, let's see, we jumped. I'm sorry, August 18th, Alyssa Brandt account created. So the same day, Chandler emails the account asking if she sent an email to Bart and if she could do so as soon as possible. There was a reply from Alyssa. She says she's waiting on 2 advisors to send the time they're available. And she said, oops, I had the wrong email for Bart. So August 19th, Bart to Alyssa says he hasn't gotten dates and times yet, and this is causing issues with financial aid and insurance, and also giving me other concerns. He said they've been trying to resolve this for countless months. So the response from Alyssa, who is Chandler, says there's a shortage of advisors, and the earliest they could do this is the 26th. It says emails have been sent and not returned to 2 advisors, and it says Chandler made a point to have the meeting this week. So what?
I was going to say, red flag. When you have an email from a college admissions person, it's not going to be a Gmail account.
No. And they brought a witness today, essentially, for just that was one of the questions that was asked. So Bart responds, thanks for the update. And he says he's blocked off the 26th for the meeting, but he would like to have it sooner. He says he and Krista are both off on Friday and can meet in person if it would help resolve this quicker.
You want to finish that out?
So August 25th, the Alyssa account to Bart says, no update for the call tomorrow, and I haven't received dial-in information. It says if this is an in-person meeting, she needs to know when they're meeting and who they'll be talking with. So June 10th of 2021, we're jumping ahead, 10 months. Bart emails the Alyssa account. This is unacceptable. We've been dealing with this issue for over a year. It's been costing us money. The longer delays have continued. I'm not sure of the professionalism of the advisors, but it sure seems they will take off at the drop of a hat and mess up the whole schedule. Chandler and I have rearranged our schedules to meet with an advisor today, and I expect you will find a way to make that happen.
Like I noticed on the call, Bart was, and it's understandable because he's been drugged through all this, which he thought was real.
Yeah. But he was frustrated.
Irritated.
Yeah. As anybody would be. I mean, for all he knows, the college has been jerking him around for a year, and they just can't literally get a transcript for a year.
Yeah. And he says, I keep paying $8 for the online, and I'm not getting anywhere.
Right.
Yep. So the next witness was Lori Snap. She's an employee relations manager with American Family Insurance. Chandler never worked for American Family Insurance. Tom Selznick was not employed there. They don't use Proton emails. There are at amfam.com. Employees are paid bi-weekly, and here there was no cross.
Yeah.
If the people they had to call in to say no, he didn't work here, or
Yeah.
no, you know what I mean? It's
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So again, we see witness Brian Shunk, which he's the lead detective. He's been called back several times. The shoes found in the Halderson home with blood on them that were found with impressions on the tarp were 10.5s, the same size Chandler was wearing when arrested. The barn tarp was older. It had sawdust on it. And I think we put up a picture of that today, right? Or it may have
Um,
been yesterday. It was a
no,
table.
I put a picture of Bart actually doing woodworking
Yep.
on one of the tarps,
Yeah.
and um, yeah, because it was just eerie. It's just
Yeah.
one of those things you see it and you think eventually his torso will be wrapped in this. It's just
Yeah.
crazy.
So that barn tarp was older. It had sawdust on it. They did not find the Ralph Lauren shoes. Bart was seen in a photo of Krista's where Bart is making a table on top of the tarp. Bart was wearing Asics brand shoes. That's what we just talked about.
Hmm.
They sent a subpoena to Madison College. He was enrolled in spring, summer, and fall of 2018. His GPA was 2.3, summer was 2.5, and the fall, he only passed one class, fell to second, and withdrew from another. So, spring of 2019, he had 4 classes, withdrew from 3, and got a C in project management, the only class he had. You did make an interesting point, though, about the money. If they were paying for his schooling, if I'm not mistaken, depending on what you do with your classes, they refund you that money.
That's true. If you withdraw within like 10 days,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a hot minute since I was a college
Yeah.
student, but
True.
usually they do refund you. I mean, he probably took it,
Yep.
probably
Yeah.
played like video games and bought all the skin packs you can buy for your character and all that.
There you go. So, fall of 2019, he failed all classes. Fall of 2020, he failed all classes. They bring out the flip phone, and it's the same phone number as the Daniel Spieth that Bart talked to on the phone about Chandler's school. It was actually Chandler he talked to, and Bart said it sounded just like Chaz. Wow. Omar Jobe, his name was circled in the email from Bart to Krista. June 29th, 2021, Bart's cell phone records show the call from his phone to Madison College. The call lasted for 19 minutes and 46 seconds.
I really do think that right there is what kicked off these murders.
Yeah.
I do. It's crazy. So
Yeah.
the next witness was Kate Yoakum from Madison College. Aaron Hoover, Alyssa Brandt, and Daniel Spieth were never employees at Madison College or MATC. Their emails are madisoncollege.edu.
There you
There
go.
was no cross, because how you going to cross that?
Nope.
The next witness was Stephen Fair. He's an enterprise report supervisor at BDO USA, which is the accounting firm that Bart worked for. He accessed Bart's emails for investigators, and on his work calendar on July 1st, he had the meeting at 3:00. In his work calendar, it says Chaz MATC. So on cross-exam, it says you provided Bart's login on that spreadsheet. Could you say what was provided? And he said a record of when the laptop was locked or unlocked. And that's done with a password, as you know. Then the defense asked, do you know how many login attempts you had? And he said no. The defense asked, do you require them to shut it down regularly? When is Bart's last logout? The last logout, interestingly enough, was July 1st at 8:07 p.m. That's after the murders. And that required a password. And he said, no, you just log off. After 20 minutes, it will log off by itself unless you have a video playing. If you have something playing that's streaming, it prevents an auto lock.
Yep.
The last login with a password was July 1st at 4:13 p.m. Eastern. So it kind of makes sense that maybe right before the murder, because actually 3 to 5 is when they think the murders took place. So I think Bart was already dead at this point.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, Bart had all of his passwords written down
Yep.
right there at his computer. So who knows? I bet Chandler was in there for something.
Yeah.
There was on redirect. The prosecutor asked, "Is there any way to tell who logged in at 4:13?" And he said no. Do you know who might have had access to Bart's passwords? Of course, he said no. It says, "We've shown documents in this case showing that Bart was loose with his passwords. He had them written down." And he said yes. So on recross, could you log in with those passwords? And he said no. So I guess what they were saying is you have to have a specific password. So the next witness was Omar Jobe. He is the enrollment coordinator at Madison College. And on June 29th of 2021, he had the call with Bart, who was pretending to be Chandler to try to get some answers.
Yep.
So they play the call. And Bart says he's trying to get an appointment with someone mainly to get his transcript, a printed copy of a certificate that was earned, and other degree verification. And he asks, how does he get that done? So,
Okay, here's where I was watching, and I'm gonna throw this out there. If I hear my dad's voice, I'm gonna be emotional.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you would think.
Right.
And he showed no emotion whatsoever.
He hasn't showed any emotion this whole time. He sits there and writes frequently. Today was actually one of the first days I've seen him interact with his defense attorney. He
Well,
really
he
has just
holds
sat
his
there.
pen weird too.
He does. Yeah, I don't know.
It looks weird. Yeah.
And we normally don't judge how people hold their pens, but
No, but it did look
Chandler's
weird.
off limit. I mean, there's no limits with that little freak.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Fruitly, do you want to read Omar's part so that way it's
Yeah.
yeah.
So Omar, for the degree you download the duplicate diploma form and send in a check or money order for $4, and it will be mailed to you. For the transcript, you have to go online to request it. And this is where Bart says he's tried multiple times online and they never got him. He don't know how much money. So he's not willing to do that again, and I don't blame him. He's frustrated, and you can hear it in his voice what we were saying. Omar says, "What does it say?" And Bart says, "It's not my system, it's your system, so don't ask me questions like that." You meant for me to read Omar and you to read Bart.
Oh yeah, I was just letting you go as long as it took for you to
No,
realize what I was saying.
yeah, it just when I was like, "Oh wait, no, you want me to?" Yeah, yeah,
You like little Energizer Bunny tonight.
yeah. Hey, people like my Peter Brady impersonation too.
Oh, did they really? I haven't got to read comments today.
Yeah, I read some comments. That was
That's
funny.
funny.
So Omar, you can go to the main campus. They can do it for you.
So Bart says, if you've earned a certificate in the solar program, who do I talk to?
And Omar says, I don't see that you earned a certificate. You were taking IT courses, but I don't see that you were in the program. And then here they're trying to find Chandler's account with no luck. Omar says, I don't see a class or an account. Normally it should bring it up. It should bring up all the names, but it doesn't.
So Bart asks, how far back does his account go? The first class date.
And Omar says spring of 2018. I don't see you were admitted in any program.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was looking down at my So Bart says, does the internship from the spring show up in there?
You skip a little bit. It's fine.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, it's all right. Omar says what year? Bart says 2021 this year. Omar says no, Bart. No, Bart says, does it normally show up in there? And Omar says yes.
So Bart says, do you have an Alyssa Brandt that works there on that campus? And you can hear him typing. He's trying to look. He says no. Oh, yep. Sorry. We're just butchering this. Like I'm Omar. Sometimes you're Bart.
What I say. We are not in theater, guys.
No.
So Omar says no.
And Bart says, does that check everyone on campus?
Here, he's starting to realize my son's a pathological liar.
Right.
Yeah. Omar says that would check anyone on campus.
And then Bart asks, does Daniel work there?
Omar says nope.
And Bart says, okay, that should do it then. Thanks for your help. And then there was no cross on that either.
Shocking.
So, yeah, I mean, so this is 2 days before the murder. And
Mhm.
clearly, I'm sure when Krista got home that night from work, he said, we've been taken for a ride. And then I'm sure when they figure this out, it starts to make a lot more sense with that insurance job. What we don't know is the interactions between this and July 1st that wasn't electronically stored.
Yep.
I bet it was explosive.
Yeah.
So we're back to Brian Shunk. He kind of comes in and out. June 29th, 2021, the same day he calls Omar, there was a message sent from Bart to Chandler, and it said, I spoke to Omar Jobe. The web history of Bart's is the same. It shows the same day he Googled Madison College, and he also Googles the contacts at Madison College. His web history shows he Googled the employee directory for the college. And then July 1st, which is the day of the murders, just right before at 2:21, he sends a text message to Chandler, I'm ready whenever you are. Then at 3 p.m., which is around the time of the murder, we think, the health app reported the last activity, and there's no activity on the phone after that. On cross exam, the defense said the page contains more entries than you testified to, and he said yes. She said, looking at Bart's phone, your investigation looked for evidence on the phone, and he said yes. And that was it. Like, you look for evidence? Yeah.
No, I'm not looking for any evidence in this case.
Right. So the page containing more entries, I think she's referring to the Google searches.
Gotcha.
All right. So let's see. Next witness. What you got, Fruit Loop?
Yeah, Stacy Sadoff. She's Department of Justice digital forensics examiner. Dude, if this is a lady I listen to, she needs to like read books online or have a podcast because she has a really good speaking voice. When I heard her, that's what I
Oh,
thought.
yeah. I know who you're talking about. She does.
Yeah.
She has her and the
Yeah.
judge, they could totally double up and do a duo podcast.
Exactly.
It
Yeah.
is received. I'm gonna miss this judge after this. He's
I
very
know.
fair. And I love how he tells everybody to bundle up when they leave because it's cold there.
Yeah, he's like a Papa
Precious.
Bear.
He
Yeah.
is precious. I love him.
Yep. So she examined Chandler's 3 older phones. And on cross, you said the report was for all of them. How many did you review? And she said 3. One belonged to Krista Halderson. A third whose phone was that? And she said the one Chandler was using now. How many phones have you extracted data from? And she said 500 to 1,000. And they asked, you said sometimes you can get a full extraction and sometimes not. And she says yes. Sometimes you can get the password and sometimes you can't. And she said, right. The question, how many times do people use birth dates as passwords? And she said, often. How many times have you seen the password as 1111? And she gave a 15%. And here defense is indicating Krista and Chandler had the same passcode.
That's kind of what I took from it. And all y'all that have 1111 as your passcode, change it right now.
Change it to 2222. Or 1234.
Right.
I think it's funny when you do that password, it'll say, it's like, seriously, you're going to use that password?
Yeah. People are not smart.
Yeah. Redirect. The phone you couldn't access, what was it? And she said a newer iPhone to the others.
So I'm not sure what happened here, but the judge called a recess because somebody in the trial that was watching the trial inside the courtroom was moving around a lot and they were disrupting things. So they removed them and there was like yelling in the hallway. And apparently they interacted with somebody who hasn't testified yet, is kind of what I gathered. Don't take me on that like 100%, but it was really weird. But they came back. The next witness was a recall, Detective Sabrina Sims from Dane County Sheriff's Office. She was doing the text messages between Krista and Chandler. So on June 23rd, Krista to Chandler, she said, good night, I love you. What did Chandler say?
Good night.
June 24th, Chandler to Krista, the HR rep and me having to attend a board meeting online in the afternoon. Our meeting will be around lunch. I do not have to leave. And then Krista says to Chandler, have your dad coach you and having the wings to help you. Please let him support you or I will come home so I can.
And Chandler to Krista says, sounds good. Waiting in my room for him now.
Krista says to Chandler, would you like for me to come home?
Chandler says to Krista, I'm all set. I got a list of things from Dad and a bunch of tips.
Krista says to Chandler, if you need to pick up your check, I can come home. And so you just need to ask any news.
Chandler to Krista, I don't need to go anywhere because I have a board meeting until the end of the day.
He was having a board meeting on PS4 online playing his game.
Yeah, I think he was having a BORED meeting.
Right.
Bored. He was bored at home.
So
Yeah.
Krista texted Chandler, did it get solved?
Chandler to Krista, pretty much just need some approvals and signatures.
So we jump ahead to June 28th. Krista texts Chandler, were you able to make an appointment with MATC?
Chandler to Krista, no, there's a line I might be able to skip, so I'm exploring that option.
So we're going ahead to June 30th, just a couple of days before the murders. Krista to Chandler, thank you for waving. You made my day.
Chandler replies, no problem.
Krista responds, love you lots. And Krista says to come see us when you're done.
Chandler says, okay.
So it's so hard to read these because you can tell that she is literally just looking out for him and trying to give him little tips to make this fake scenario that he's created go well.
Yeah.
So July 1st, the day of the murders, Krista texts Chandler, hope things are going well, thinking about you. And Chandler responds at 2:34, going well, thanks. And Krista just puts a little smiley face. Then at 3:19 p.m., Chandler texts Krista, dad's phone died, text her, call me, and get soda on your way home. I have an extra hour of work. Now, at this point, prosecutors think that he has just killed Bart. So, because they said between 3 and 5, we know Krista gets home right at 5. You can see it on the neighbor's ring cam, and then she never comes out of the house. So Krista responds, K, I can, with a little smiley face. There's obviously no activity on her phone until July 4th.
Chandler to Krista, hoping this goes through. I bet there's a lot of people up there making it hard to message.
And he texts himself from her phone, made it safely, can't get anything through. And yes, it's packed, going to White Lake Parade, and we'll be home Monday, Tuesday early. Love you lots. There was a cross exam. The text was extracted from Krista's phone. Is it safe to assume you looked at all of Krista's texts, not just the ones between Chandler and Krista? And she was very quick to say, yes, we did. So.
Yeah. So the next witness, Courtney Rip from Department of Justice, criminal analyst. She has a report of notes found on Chandler's phone from February 1st, 2018 to July 5th, 2021. August 6, 2019, dad debit 0730. October 12th, jobs needed, GPA, transcripts, college recourses. November 23rd of 2020, Daniel letterhead with GPA on PDF. July 1st, 2021, 5:11 p.m., weekend chores. H2O2, lemon, door handles, move your crap upstairs, get a job, clean floor. She also looked at Google records from Chandler's account from July 1st through the 8th, the day of the murder up until his arrest. July 1st, YouTube searches, no searches. You going to pick up there?
Yeah. So July 7th, they just go through this stuff that he's doing. He did some map searches for directions to places. White Lake Police, homepage for White Lake, Wisconsin, BDO, Madison CPA firm, which is where his dad worked. Sawyer Lake, Wolf River, Wisconsin. He looked at some of these locations on maps. He Googled a VW repair shop, and that address was actually put into maps. There were a lot of activities. He looked up 4200 police code, radio codes, and AICPA. I'm not sure what that means. So on the day of the arrest, July 8th, body found Wisconsin, woman's body found Wisconsin, Wisconsin dismembered body found, State versus Peter Capuzza. Dead body found in Wisconsin. Body found in Milwaukee River, Wisconsin. There were some news articles where he clicked on a link that said, we don't have the whole headline, but it's Bart and Krista, Madison area couple seen last week may have headed to, and then it cuts off. Update, Dane County authorities need help searching for, and there's ... There were various map searches. He was also looking at YouTube videos for his video game. On the state versus the Kaputsa, that's a case we talked about it in an earlier episode where a man was accused of murdering and dismembering a female relative, and he put the remains in the Wisconsin River. A court of appeals decision was clicked on, and the court affirmed those convictions. She also does cell phone mapping. It gets really technical, but essentially it shows him pretty much every area where they found remains. And then July 5th, it shows a Snapchat location from the farm. This is the day that he showed up to swim alone, and it actually shows him inside those woods. It's crazy how accurate it is. I made my kids turn theirs off. July 6th and 7th, Mitchell phone, the brother, Mitchell, his phone shows outgoing calls to Bart and Krista. They made it very clear he was home far away the entire time. So July 8th, calls to Mitchell and law enforcement, and the last transmission for Chandler was at the jail. So what about Cross?
So Cross, they question those maps track a phone and not a person, and she says correct. Do you know who was using the device at a certain time? You don't know who was using the device at a certain time, and she answers correct. The Google records would show a search such as Wisconsin dismembered body found. Did that exhibit show if the results were clicked on? That could have come off as a result of that particular search, and she answers yes. You obtained records before July 1st through the 8th. Your answer was yes. How far in advance of July 1st did you get records? And her answer was, I don't remember the time frame. She questions, you're saying before July 1st, the only searches were for YouTube? And her answer, I would have to look at the records. And then her question, do you have them? And her answer was no. There was a redirect. You were only asked to look from the first when Bart and Krista were last known to be alive. And she said yes.
So, a lot of people have tweeted and asked, what do you think the defense's angle is going to be? Clearly, they're not going to go with, oh, he may have did it, but he had this fake concussion.
Yeah.
They have the only time that I've ever seen them really indicate anything is almost as if they're going to try and say he didn't do it. Somebody had his phone, somebody had that gun, it's lost. This kid, I think this might be a super, super quick verdict.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm interested to see what they put up, if anything.
Well, here's my thing. Like, as a defense, you're trying to put doubt in the jury's mind. There hasn't been any doubt.
There has not. And if you remember, her opening statement was short and sweet. It was, you have to decide if the state proved would be on a reasonable doubt that he did this. And that was kind of it.
Well,
so
we can say the state has proved.
Right. But I mean, you sit here and wonder why, why are we here?
Yeah. Such a waste of money.
It's a waste of money. It's I was wondering if Mitchell is in the courtroom every day. I haven't heard.
Yeah.
But you think about poor Mitchell. I mean, and then you look at Kat, his girlfriend, who was kind of catfished by him.
Yeah.
She just believed everything he said, and I don't fault her for that. She's young. She was in love. I mean, people can lead double lives, and 9 times out of 10, the people around you, when they find out, they have no clue. Whoa, blows them away.
Yeah.
That people were capable of this kind of stuff. It's just a really sad thing because parents that don't care are not going to spend their time. Hey, I'll go to meetings with you to try to get your transcript. They let him live there rent free. I mean,
obviously they were feeding him, clothing him.
Yeah. Right. So, and then you see those last text messages from Krista are supportive. Hey, let your dad guide you. In other words, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And it was all concern. There was nothing in either one of their text messages that even were sort of cross with him.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Bart knew at that point when they were going to Madison College that it was all a scam. He could have said, "Come on, moron," or "You liar," or what, you know what I'm saying? It's just like
Yeah.
you don't. Man,
Yep.
it's scary. They gave birth to a psychopath and didn't know it until
Yeah.
it was too late.
Yep.
So we will see what happens tomorrow. We thought maybe we would get to closings today, but there were some longer breaks. So follow us on social media. If you're on YouTube, go to our page, hit the like button, subscribe to us, hit the little bell. It'll tell you when we upload. We upload this same episode onto YouTube. For those of you that like video, for our newer listeners, we have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Give us a follow, share it, whatever. We will see you guys back tomorrow, and we will update what happens in the ninth day of this trial. So definitely not going to last the 3 to 4 weeks they thought, though. All right, guys, have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow.